Hello, America. Welcome to Common Sense. I'm Wendy Bell. You know, it's kind of like the worst kind of game show where you have to choose. Will it be door number one, another attempt to kill President Trump? Door number two, a Trump-hating FBI agent leading the Miami field office in its investigating of that attempted assassination? Or door number three, a rigged debate with an ABC whistleblower saying that they have proof Kamala Harris knew those questions and that the TV network colluded with her campaign to fact-check Donald Trump live and avoid topics Kamala Harris didn't want to talk about, like her record as California's AG or Joe Biden's clear cognitive decline. You know, those silly little subjects. No matter which door you pick, you're going to get no facts, no truth, most assuredly no common sense, which is why we're going to deliver all of that to you today. You're so lucky, right? Let's meet our panel of talk radio hosts from across America. Rich Valdez hosts Rich Valdez America at Night on Westwood One. Looking good, Rich. Melanie Collette hosts Money Talk with Melanie on 98.7 The Coast, New Jersey. What's going on, Mel? And Barack Lurie hosts the Barack Lurie Show on AM 870 from Los Angeles. Hi, Barack. You know, Barack, let's start with you because, you know, Joe Biden has repeatedly said Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. So has Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Mitt Romney, Dick Cheney, of course, Kamala Harris. Listen to her.
What is the greatest national security threat to the United States? It's Donald Trump. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell you why.
You know, it's so old. Anybody paying attention knows it's the political left with their partners in the media that have groomed unstable people into trying to murder President Trump. Barack, this is for deadly real serious. And I don't think they're taking it at all seriously.
They're not taking it seriously, and they're also pretending that the violence is all coming from the Republicans. I mean, they're actually attacking Donald Trump, claiming that he's somehow the one who created the environment that has led to the two attempted assassinations of him, which is so absurd. And I think the American public is beginning to see that. Not even begin to see it, that they call it out loud. It's very disturbing. The violence is all coming from them and somehow pointing it to Trump. It's really like blaming the rape victim for the rape. It's just not appropriate. Yeah. It cannot be done. And this is what we're seeing. What's interesting about Kamala Harris's actual comment just now, she said he's a threat to democracy, and I'm going to tell you why. Of course, in that particular debate, she didn't say anything about why. And she doesn't explain why about that or anything else in this campaign as well. So the American public is seeing that. They're not buying the claims that somehow the rhetoric is all coming from the Republicans. They know that indeed.
I hope you're right.
She's not answering questions. Yeah, I'm sure of it. I'm 100% sure of it.
Oh, you are? Okay, Melanie, do you agree? Do you think the public is onto this, or are we on our own little island?
I'm not that confident that the public is onto it. And this whole thing is dastardly. And if I did not know any better, I think it was on purpose. That the Democrats and the radical left are intentionally trying to communicate with these people that they know are crazy, playing a psychological game to get Donald Trump killed. And I hate to sound hyperbolic, but 2 assassination attempts in 2 months.
Right.
That's ridiculous, and them almost being able to get away with it. That's the most horrible part.
Right, and you know, I want to talk about President Trump's security, right? He's targeted while playing golf. It was a round that wasn't on his public schedule. Somebody had to tip off the would-be gunman, and with Mayorkas and the DHS in charge of the Secret Service, I mean, Rich, do you believe an uptick in Trump's security detail is even going to be enough to ever keep him safe?
That's really the big question, Wendy. So if we give him more of what he's already got, people that are allowing him to be in harm's way, does it make him any safer, right? I don't know the answer to that. I hate to think that's the case, but lamentably, something is wrong, very seriously wrong somewhere, and we don't know where it is, right? Had somebody call my show the other day and said it's one of his family members leaking. I said, his family members don't work for the Secret Service, so it really doesn't matter, right? They're the ones that have to secure the perimeter, and if you send more incompetent people, they won't secure the perimeter. This is not an insult to all Secret Service members in all places.
No.
I'm just saying, obviously, there's a big problem here, and we've got to figure out what it is. And I think they should give him the opportunity to get people that he trusts, you know, whomever they may be, a private security, military, whoever it is, that works for him, and get them cleared so that they can watch his back.
Right, and you know, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to this special agent Jeffrey Veltri guy. He's the head of the FBI's Miami field office, which is the one investigating the second attempt on the president's life. Now, curious, Jeff Veltri, Barack, was promoted to this position even though he was a known Trump hater. A whistleblower testified before Congress that FBI Director Chris Wray told Veltri to cleanse his social media, scrub his Facebook account before Wray could even promote him to lead that field office. Like, how on earth do we trust the FBI to investigate anything? It's like putting Fauci in charge of vaccine injuries. Like, really?
Exactly. Yeah, it's very much like that. Look, this is a pure conflict of interest. If you have that such vitriol against the president in this situation, then you really do have to replace him. Somebody else should be investigating this. There are plenty of other people, very competent people in Florida, no less, who should be able to take care of this. So I'm very surprised that they want to keep him on, but maybe they'll move him off. Who knows how it is? It's a little bit like what we saw in Georgia with all the conflicts there as well. So,
right.
One of the things I just wanted to add, Wendy, is this concept of the vitriol coming from the Democrats, generally speaking. At some point, it's a little bit like the Islamic terrorists versus Christianity, right? They want to call themselves the religion of peace, and the Christianity is the one that's the violent one, right? So, I mean, the Democrats want to call themselves the party of peace, and they're not. The fact is that all the violence is coming from them, and everyone's taking notice.
Melanie, I think Barack is so much nicer than we are. I mean, like, right? I listen to him. I'm like,
is because I'm not feeling warm and fuzzy about this at all, and he puts it in just so softly and so nice, and I think that
I know.
And the folks at the FBI, something is definitely going on there. How are they slow walking this investigation? Why do we not know any and everything about what happened in Butler? And we know hardly anything. And he's saying, we were around the clock, just like sleepless nights working on it. No, you're not, because we don't know anything. And there's Stonewall Congress in the process. And we should know so much more than we do. And, I 100%. Hate to say it again, but something's dirty.
That weird feeling inside you. Now, Rich, you remember this Jeff Veltri guy, because before Chris Wray promoted him, he was in charge of the FBI's safety division. He's the guy behind the so-called Trump questionnaire who would suspend FBI agents' security clearances if they seem to be right-wing radical, like our own government. That's the threat to democracy.
You know, Wendy, we have a really big problem, and I hate to make it sound so fundamental here, but that we really do, right? I mean, and I argue this a lot with a lot of people offline, colleagues of ours. I really do believe that we're outnumbered. I really do. I think that our government is filled with a bunch of people that like to have power and they like to have control, and they won't stop at anything to protect the power and control that they have. And they exist on both sides of the aisle. Some of them agree with me politically, and some of them agree with Harris. The bottom line is Trump is a direct threat to them continuing their gravy train, and everybody's freaking out about how do we check this guy. And I don't think they're scared. I think they're emboldened to protect what they believe is rightfully theirs.
I think that's a great point. All right, guys, hang tight, because when we come back, an ABC News whistleblower sends this sworn, notarized affidavit to House Speaker Mike Johnson. Happened the day before the Trump-Harris debate even happened, and he said the whole thing is rigged. Pay attention to what he said. So weird that ABC isn't talking about it. Well, we will. So let's open door number 3 with the panel together next on Common Sense.